Welcome to your most favorite channel Heartbeat. My name is Dr. Amrit Kejriwal. As a student, I say most of the teaching will be digitalized. Hard copies of books will become obsolete. They will be replaced by soft copies. Lectures and lecture halls will cease to exist. They will be substituted by videos and online classes. Practical classes will remain in medical sciences. We have to prepare ourselves for a revolution in learning and teaching methods in all disciplines. Today we learn something about electrocardiography. QT interval. Channel's name is Heartbeat. My name is Dr. Amrit Kejriwal. So, the QT interval. Beginning of the Q complex, QR complex, to the end of the T wave is the QT interval. So, here is the beginning of the Q and end of T. It represents the duration of ventricular depolarization and repolarization. The duration of the QT interval is the addition of the QRS complex duration, ST segment duration and T wave duration. So, here is the QT interval on this particular wave. Measurement. It is preferred to be calculated in leads with initial Q wave. Q wave may be isoelectric, so it will give us a false position of the beginning of the R wave. End point to be taken at the point of T wave touching baseline. Occasionally, the end point is encroached by the U wave or subsequent P wave. Then the onset of U wave or P wave is taken as the end of T wave. Tachycardia shortens the QT interval. So, the QT interval has to be corrected for the heart rate. The most common formula used is the Bazet's formula, where QTC, the corrected QTC, is equal to QT by square root of the RR interval. Both of these factors are in seconds. The preceding RR interval is taken and duration is measured in seconds. So, now we have got one ECG. Here you can see the heart rate is irregular and this has been deliberately distorted to create an irregular heart rate. So, when the heart rate is irregular, QTC is equal to QT by square root of RR interval. So, here is the QT interval and here is the RR interval. The preceding RR interval is taken, and when the heart rate is irregular, QTC is equal to average of all QTC measured. So, in this patient we have got QT1 and we have got QT2. So, RR1 and RR2. So, if you get QTC is equal to QT1 by RR1, QT2 by RR2 and QT3 by RR3 divided by 3. Ideally, we should take a minimum of 5 QT intervals on a continuous strip to get a correct average. Normal QT. Normal value of QT is 0.39 seconds plus minus 0.04 second, giving a range of 0.35 second to 0.43 seconds. With a normal heart rate of 60 to 100 beats per minute, QT interval should not exceed 50% of RR interval. It is more in females and it increases with age. Prolonged QTC can be seen in various conditions such as sleep, hypocalcemia, acute myocarditis, acute MI, cerebral injury, hypothermia, HOCM, AV block, drugs such as quinidine, proconamide, tricyclic antidepressants, and syndromes such as Romanov-Ward and Jervell-Lange-Nielsen syndromes. So, prolonged QTC is said to exist when it is greater than 450 milliseconds in males and greater than 470 milliseconds in females. In the absence of intraventricular conduction delay, prolonged QTC interval increases the risk for polymorphic ventricular tachycardia, that's torsades de pointes, palpitations, syncope, seizures, sudden cardiac death. Now we can see an ECG here, lead with a prolonged QTC, beginning of the Q wave to the end of the T wave, having approximately 3 big squares, 0.6 seconds. This ECG has been deliberately distorted. Short QTC, that is less than 350 milliseconds, you can see over here. A short QTC may be seen with digitalis, hypercalcemia, hyperthermia or vagal stimulation.